Hey guys, welcome back to Coin Knowledge. So, what a crazy week it has been for the crypto markets. Obviously, we're going to talk about what has happened this week, for the US elections here. Kind of give you guys my opinion here. And I gave you guys my opinion, honestly, in the last video, letting you guys know that, we were kind of predicting a couple of movements in the market. But as always, guys, if you guys get value out of this kind of content or out of the channel or this video, if you guys can consider subscribing to the channel and liking the video, support means everything. So, if you look here at Bitcoin, it is sitting, obviously, at pretty much all-time highs right now. Now, if we look at where the election actually did take place, now, if you remember of the last video, I was kind of hinting at believing that Trump would win. Now, I am of the belief if you are pro-crypto, there was obviously this whole time, one side being a little bit more leaning towards pro-crypto. That obviously was Trump over Harris with their different policies here. And my opinion was that, you can go back on the last video of this channel, that I did expect, I did state if Trump won, it would not surprise me to see a huge surge this week in Bitcoin. Now, I did call for about 80K by the end of this week, so we'll see if we can manage to get there. That would be huge. Now, obviously, Bitcoin has massive momentum going for it right now, but, the week's not done yet. We're about midway, so, we'll go to see, how, the next couple days go. But if you take a look here, we can see that Trump obviously won the election. He's pro-crypto. I mean, we're having Trump pro-crypto, the VP Vance pro-crypto, RFK Jr. pro-crypto. And if we go over here and look at Watcher Guru, he put out a tweet here saying that, according to Fox Business Reports, over 250 pro-crypto candidates have been elected to Congress in this election. So that's insane. I mean, we have a huge portion of Congress, the House and the Senate, officials that are actually pro-crypto, which is nuts. So, we have a lot of Congress pro-crypto. We have the White House presidency, the Republican Party being pro-crypto. I mean, Trump has already mentioned about, he wants the U.S. to potentially, use Bitcoin as like a reserve and get into it a little bit more like that. Now, obviously, this channel is not a political channel, so I'm not going to get into it a whole lot. But if you want to look a little bit more into his policies and what potentially could be the future of crypto in their eyes and with their policies moving forward, I encourage you to do so, because with him winning, that is kind of the reality that we're in right now. Now, obviously, what does this mean for the crypto market? Again, I just want to bring that up because we have to bring it up. It's obviously the biggest catalyst, I think, that is happening in crypto for Q4 of 2024. Now, if you take a look at Bitcoin, now this was, we saw yesterday at the time of recording this video, it's being shot on, today, Wednesday, I believe the 6th. So if you take a look at it, I was watching the election live. I don't know if anyone else was as well. And, Bitcoin was skyrocketing as Trump was leading in the electoral votes. So Bitcoin was already starting to price in a potential Trump victory. Again, we saw Bitcoin smashing all-time highs around that 75K before Trump was officially, voted in or officially called the race. So this was as he was closing in, only needing, I think, like 40, a couple states left for winning the election. Now, obviously, he has gone ahead and won. So Bitcoin has continuously put in a new high yesterday, put in a new high, or last night, put in a new high today. 6 hours ago, Bitcoin, reached $76,460, which is nuts. The fact that it's almost 2K more than its previous all-time highs already. So pretty crazy there. Now, we can see the trading volume on Bitcoin has gone up immensely from about 40 billion all the way up to over about $120 billion in volume. So it's almost 3x in the last 24 hours of trading volume. Obviously, I think a lot of people know by this point, as it was been a huge part of their campaign a little bit, especially if you're in the crypto space, that, Trump is going to be, more pro-crypto. So as it started to look a little bit more favorable on his side, I think a lot of people understood, especially maybe saw the potential that Bitcoin was going to go up. So, I mean, here it is, guys. Sitting in front of us, 75K Bitcoin. If you were here throughout the bear market with us, when Bitcoin was 20K, 15K, even 30K, a little bit on the rebound, you deserve every little bit of this. Obviously, we're seeing the markets here overall in the 24 hours. I mean, everything is doing quite well. Ethereum is, skyrocketing for what it is. It's obviously outperforming Bitcoin. It's, up over $2,800 right now. Solana, BNB, AVAX, a lot of the top coins are performing. Obviously, the more you get down the list, a lot of things are performing quite nicely. Now, we've already talked about it on this channel. I mean, if you saw the last video, you already know some of the altcoins that I was stacking up, and I was telling you guys my opinion on what potentially could run if Trump got in. So if we look at the gaming markets, we're going to look, obviously, the conviction level has remained the same, guys, for what I'm really looking at this cycle. We see some of the hot narratives right now are gaming, memes, RWA, and AI / DPIN. Obviously, there's layer 1s, layer 2s in there. And I'm not going to get into individual coins in this video because there's, we have a lot of videos on this channel. And if you want that, you can look at the last video here, a little bit more longer format. I just want to give you guys my opinion on where I think we're going. Now, leading into Q4, as we close it up, with Trump in office now, not officially, we're looking at January for him to fully get sworn in, but still, with Trump, winning the campaign, winning the race, there's a lot of factors going for crypto now versus the alternative if Harris had got in. So I do think, I stand by my stance that, I don't think it's crazy to think that Bitcoin does, hover, a little bit closer to that 80K range, closing out this week, maybe the weekend. I still stick by that, so we'll see where that stands. I think, some people may have thought that prediction was a little outlandish in the last video, but, when you look at it, 67K to new all-time highs now to over 75K, here we are, and I don't think it's crazy for us to get a couple more thousand with the volume that's coming in and everyone realizes what's happening. I don't think it's that crazy, so we'll see if that comes true. Let me know in the comments below where you think Bitcoin's going to be going, but I do think that Bitcoin has a chance to reach, maybe 80, 90, maybe even 100K by the end of this year, which is nuts because we already have people calling for a $250,000 Bitcoin for this cycle. And honestly, if everything does play out for crypto and, the Republican, the right party is correct on the right side, the right side party is correct on implementing all their policies about crypto and staying pro-crypto with all the, the newly elected officials, yeah, crypto could go pretty insane, and I could see multiple six figures for Bitcoin this cycle. I don't think it's, again, that unreasonable, but when we look at some of the narratives, I still think gaming is quite hot. We're seeing Immutable, performing quite nicely. Obviously, there's a lot of news going on with Immutable, if you know, you know. And then Beam, a couple ones. Again, I'm not going to get into individual coins, but if you look at the chart here on the 24 hours, everything in gaming is obviously performing quite nicely. Again, the overall market is doing quite nicely as well. So gaming's performing. AI is obviously doing quite well also, with Elon, especially being tied in closely with Trump. Elon, I do think is going to be Elon, Tesla, they kind of go hand in hand. Is going to be a big contributing factor for maybe a catalyst event for maybe a AI run later on in the cycle. So with Elon being now implemented with Trump in ways, I think that's very bullish on AI as a sector as well. And then RWA, there's no denying that RWA is going to be a narrative this cycle. Now, if we're looking at across the three, I do personally have stronger conviction in gaming and AI. And then RWA is going to be a sector, I believe, that shouldn't be overlooked. Now, how hot it goes, that time has yet to see, but the beauty is that there's not nearly as much RWA projects, solid ones, as there is in gaming and AI. So what I mean by that is that's not as diluted of a narrative, but those are the three that I'm kind of looking at. Obviously, again, you do have memes. If you want to partake in memes, that's completely up to you. I've said it multiple times. I don't really necessarily feel comfortable covering memes on the channel because it's hard to really provide, a lot of feedback or research on it. There's dedicated channels for that. If that's what you want to do, I would encourage you to go to those channels. But this is not a meme channel, so please hate on it if you want. But either way, although I will make a note that the peanut coin for the squirrel, RIP Peanut, is performing quite nicely if you got in on that. I think there's another one too. This is Peanut, but then there's P-Nut, like P-N-U-T. So if you know about the squirrel, you know, but I thought that was something a little funny there. We see Trump coins obviously doing okay. And then obviously the Solana ecosystem I still am bullish on. The base ecosystem as well. A couple other L1s alongside that. But either way, guys, we've been talking about it all year, hinting at it. Obviously, I don't want to ever get too political on the channel here because it is a decisive, interaction or conversation to have. But I do think, again, if you were pro-crypto, I do think a majority of the crypto space was leaning a certain way this election because of the policies that were implemented by both sides. So to see Trump get into office and to see him actually win this and pull through, I do think is bullish for the overall crypto market. And again, one thing I just want to touch on, if we look at the 4-year cycle, if we look at the last election of 2020. We can actually break it down here. If I can break down the chart, 2020 here towards the end of the year. I mean, we saw, November 5th, leading into it, we saw Bitcoin pumping that week, and then it kind of just took off. Now, again, a lot of people are calling for this to be the true beginning of the altcoin season / bull run. I do think, after such an aggressive move by Bitcoin, it's just like any other coin hitting all-time highs. I expect it to maybe run, obviously, within the next couple of days, but I do expect it to potentially dip a little bit. There will be dips throughout the whole cycle, obviously, but again, who knows? I do think we have a strong chance to get a little bit closer to that 80K in the short term, but I think by the end of the year, maybe anywhere from 80 to 100K, and then now, given who won and all the officials that got into Congress for the U.S., I don't think it's that crazy, anymore. 100K Bitcoin this cycle, that's happening. That's my stance. I think if anyone thinks that 100K isn't going to happen this cycle, I think you are crazy personally and bearish, but it might be a bold stance, but 100K is happening this cycle. When? I can't tell you that exactly. Nobody can, but 200,000 Bitcoin, 250,000, it's on the table more now than it was 48 hours ago, but either way, guys, that's just my opinion getting in here, covering, obviously the biggest event for crypto in Q4. Have to talk about the elephant in the room and let you guys know the sectors I'm looking at, kind of, seeing how the market's reacting. This is a good precursor indicator to how the market's going to, react with Trump in. And I do think, just as I mentioned in the past, if it had gone the other way, now again, I'm not trying to get too political, but had Harris got in, I do think we would have saw the opposite effect as far as price action goes for Bitcoin. I do think we would have saw a dip, just as aggressive as we see the pump. So obviously on a crypto side of things, I'm happy with the outcome. On a pro crypto side of things. So let me know in the comments below what you guys think about that. But either way, do you think this is the start of the bull run? I do think that this potentially we could see more positive price action closing out this year. So that is very exciting. And then as always, guys, I'll keep you guys updated best I can. And if you guys have gotten any of the wins with us on the channel, have gotten any value, again, please consider liking the video, subscribing to the channel, sharing the video, hit the notification bell, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. All right, see you guys.